for some positive injury news here because we were getting a lot of footage from Glasnow, Yamamoto throwing bullpen sessions here, Dodger Stadium over the weekend. Where are we at on some updates, buddy?
Yeah, so Glasnow and Yamamoto and Ohtani, we didn't get an update on Ohtani though, but Glasnow and Yamamoto were both throwing bullpens at Dodger Stadium. Mm-hmm. And Dave Roberts said Glasnow came out of it well. He threw about 15 to 20 pitches, only fastball. But now the next step is for him to throw another bullpen session on probably Tuesday. And if that goes well, then they're going to talk about a sim game. So that's a huge step for him. It's probably the next major hurdle he needs to clear to get into a sim game, to actually start making real progress on coming back, facing hitters, and then going on a rehab assignment after that. So that's huge. It's encouraging. Glasnow said he was very encouraged and excited by it. So great news there for them. Yamamoto, he threw his. He remains on track to start Tuesday, which hasn't changed any update or anything, but it's always concerning. You still got to get through those final steps. And even if it feels set in stone, he still had that final step to clear. So Tuesday seems to be the date for Yamamoto. And then Brusdar Graterol, he's also likely going to be activated tomorrow on Monday. He was an option to be activated today. They instead went with Nick Ramirez for whatever reason that was. Probably another lefty in the bullpen or just someone they can DFA in a day or two. Sure. But yeah, Brusdar is also on the way back here.
Yeah. So all good news here. I 100% co-sign. And I see some people in chat, with a little bit of pause. Now we just got to see them out there. Let us know, guys, between Glasnow and Yamamoto, who are you a little bit worried about finding a run, if they're going to have enough time here, and which of the two do you have a little bit more confidence in to kind of hit the ground running? And who do you think is going to have maybe a little bit of a hiccup? If not both, that's great for everybody. My money still would be on Tyler Glasnow. Just because it's been a little bit of unknown. And I think the buildup for Yamamoto has been a little bit more on track. Shoulders definitely iffy. But if Tyler Glasnow is just resting, like a lot of people do think, then that's what it is. I think for how much I believe Yamamoto means to the pitching staff, I think I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant and a little bit more of an eye on what he's going to do. But by all accounts, all numbers look good. Velocity looks good. Readings from his secondary stuff all look okay. It's just rotator cuff strains. You absolutely never know. Brusdar wise, he's on his way. Dave Roberts, he's been all about it. It looked initially right away. I can't help myself but think about. I looked like he's cooked. Everybody said, yeah, he's done. His hamstring just ripped off. How much did that surprise you now that you're where we're at, looking at his injury in the past?
Very surprising, because Dave Roberts said it was a grade 3 hamstring, which is torn completely off the bone. Said it was going to end his season.
That was the quote too. That's the quote we had.
He couldn't walk off the field at all. And then the next day it's like, oh yeah, actually it's just kind of a minor strain. He can be back this year. So just really funny there. I mean, usually when we get injury updates, it tends to be worse, but that was one of the rare instances where it was much more positive than the initial report.
Seen a lot of people. Glasnow's just resting. Glasnow more worried there. Yamamoto's looking worse. Glasnow never pitched this much. Yeah. Everybody, your concerns, either one, are valid. I think the awareness is heightened just because of how much that we know the Dodgers need, the both of them, to avoid a situation like 2023. And it's something I've brought up quite a bit. You just have to give your offense a chance. Offense has to give your pitching staff a chance. They've got to work hand in hand here. But I think for how good this offense can be, in staring down the barrel of a first round bye, you're going to need your pitching staff to keep them in the game, just so your offense, unless they hit the ground running in the first inning, like we've seen them do in the past, just to give them a shot, to get their feet under them, take in the crowd, take in the moment, and go from there. We saw it last year. Clayton Kershaw is still dealing with some pain. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so he has a bone spur in his left foot, for anyone who isn't aware. That's why he had to come out of his last game early. He wasn't able to push off the mound correctly, and they're hoping some rest would help him get back under control with that, because Allegedly, it's something he's dealt with for a few years now. We haven't heard about it before, but now it is serious enough where it's been an issue to put him on the IL. And Robert said it's still bothering him. It's not as tender as it was, but still an issue. He's been doing pretty minimal work. He hasn't been able to do a ton. He's been in a walking boot for a lot of stretches here. So, yeah, there's not great news on Kershaw. And I'd be surprised if he comes back this season. The Dodgers haven't ruled him out or anything, but just looking at the timeline and how he hasn't really been able to do much, he's not able to run or do any of his workouts. I just don't really see any path where he's able to come back.
Yeah, it's getting to that crunch time spot where you kind of have to map some things out here. And it's not lost on, I think, all Dodger fans that he was still a work in progress. He was still figuring out how to pitch with his new arsenal. I don't think he's going to have enough. I don't think he's going to have enough time. If he's still dealing with this pain, it could get to a point where he might have to even say it's best for the team that I don't push this and let them roll with what they've got. Because honestly, Blake, if Clayton Kershaw, all things considered, like if Clayton Kershaw is healthy and he's able to be a contributor, he'd be great. It would be great to have 22 on the mound and contributing to another postseason run. But from where it's at right now, trying to wedge that back in there, trying to cramp the timeline in, doesn't seem fair to him. It doesn't seem fair to kind of the legacy, which we know is a big deal, and to fans. Like you have to put the best guys out there. And thankfully, I think they have enough. I've seen enough out of Landon Knack that I really believe that he's going to be a contributor. I love what we saw as predicted. We know Landon Knack's done enough. So I think there's enough arms in there to kind of weather that blow. And we're getting positive news with Yamamoto, Glasnow, and you're seeing Jack Flaherty continue to anchor this stuff. It's just sad about Gavin Stone here. You in line with what about Clayton Kershaw, and if it's just not enough time here to make it back?
Yeah, I would be very surprised if he pitches again this year. Maybe down the line in the playoffs if they go deep, but like if the Dodgers are going deep into the playoffs, I don't really see them like mixing it up to bring in Kershaw and essentially a rehab assignment type thing. It would be more out of desperation and the NLDS type thing that he could maybe come back if they were like gonna bring him back on when he's not fully healthy. So I just don't really see any real runway for him to make it back.
Yeah, Bob. I mean, I believe Clayton Kershaw will stay prepared no matter what. He's just that competitor, that gamer, no matter what. Like if there's the opportunity for him to have a window to return, if, past the first round, past an NLDS and an NLCS, if he's got good results somewhere in sim games, whichever, if they need it, if God forbid something happens and they need him, I believe that he'll prepare himself enough strength wise and body wise, aside from his foot. Aside from his toe. But I think that they've got to go with the best that they have and not try to wedge anything that doesn't seem realistic here. But who knows? We got a long time. We got a long time till it's going here.